have a heart of humility, have a heart of transparency. If you don't know the answer, don't walk in arrogance, right? When you start to lose that is when you become prideful and you think, oh, I know everything, therefore that's why I have this position.
Hi, my name's Devin. Today I own several multi-million-dollar companies. We started with $5,000 in a credit card. I don't know the easy way, I only know the hard way.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Whiteboard Entrepreneur Podcast, where I give straightforward advice to fuel the entrepreneur in all of us. I'm Devin Dickinson, and today I want to talk to you about dealing with the imposter syndrome. And this is quite common for people that are out there pursuing their dreams, right? Whether you're an entrepreneur who's had some success, or you've got promoted quickly in your company, or you're pursuing your dream, and all of a sudden you find yourself in a world that you're just kind of not comfortable with because you've never been there before, and you found yourself with some success, and all of a sudden you have this, what's called the imposter syndrome. And it happens a lot with younger folks that end up getting some success in their life. But I would tell you it happens to all of us at some point where we reach this level in our life of whether it's success or promotion or whatever it is. And all of a sudden you look around and you go, oh my gosh, I think I fooled everyone. I shouldn't be here, right? Like this should be somebody else. This should be someone that has more experience, better education, smarter than I am, better looking than I am, taller than I am, more hair than I have, whatever, right? And we think all of a sudden I'm not capable of doing the position that I've been put into. And this is commonly referred to as the imposter syndrome. And I've dealt with it a lot, and a lot of people that I mentored over the years. And as a matter of fact, just this week, I had the privilege of meeting with someone that I've known for a long time, very successful, talented young man, and things have started to turn around in his life, and he's got some really exciting stuff. And he asked to meet with me, and he's like, "Hey D, can we sit down and can we talk?" And he's telling me about all this great stuff, right? And he's going like, "Oh my gosh, I'm the leader here, and I'm having success here, and I got promoted here," and it was like 3 or 4 great things. And I'm sitting here, I'm like so excited for him, and then he's like, "And I don't know what to do." He goes, "I feel so unqualified. What should I do?" And it was great, right? I was so happy for him and so proud of him, but I realized that he was dealing with the imposter syndrome, right? And I was also proud of him because I actually think that for folks like that actually feel like unqualified, it shows a really great place in your heart, right? Like it shows this humility that you have. And so I sat down with him and I talked to him. I said, first off, here's the thing. Let's understand perception versus reality. The perception that you have is that you don't think that you're qualified, that somehow you trick people into giving you these positions, or somehow they've made this giant mistake. They don't know that you're only 21 or 22 years old or however old you are, right? They don't know that. And I said, look at you. I said, you're not fooling anyone. Everyone knows how old you are, right? Everyone knows you didn't graduate from Harvard, right? Everyone knows your experience that you have. Everyone knows who you are, and they still chose to put you in this place. I said, so your perception is that somehow you tripped or fell into this or tricked people into giving you this opportunity. I said, but the reality is they know who you are. The reality is that they chose you for this position, and with all of your, strengths, and they also know all of your weaknesses. So listen, the first thing is the reality is that you didn't end up with this by accident. I said, everyone knows how old you are, right? And so I said, let's first come to grips with that's the reality versus your perception. I said, the second thing is you're in a great place. The fact that we're having this conversation right now, and the fact that you do have this quote unquote imposter syndrome, it shows the fact that you have a humble heart. It shows the fact that you are going into this with the right attitude. I'm always very concerned about any leader, any person in authority when they're like, well, it's about time that people recognize. It's about time I got this promotion. It's about time people recognize how great I am, because those are the leaders that fall. right? The people that go in the position humbly, the president of the United States is like, oh my gosh, this is a great responsibility that I have. Or the person who becomes, the captain of the team, whether you're the president of the United States or the captain of your junior high soccer team. If you walk in with the understanding of like, this is a responsibility and a privilege that I have, instead of it's about time someone recognized and gave me my rightful position, like those are the differences in the type of leader. And I said, you have that type of heart that is humble. You have that type of heart that sees this as a responsibility, not this God-given privilege, this right that you have, this entitlement that you have. And I said, so the fact that we're having this means that you're in the right place of humility and respect for the position. And so I said, when you start to lose that is when you become prideful and you think, oh, I know everything, therefore that's why I have this position. And I shared with them in my life, whenever I have thought I've known, whenever I've had this pride of like, hey, watch this, I'm going to show you guys how smart I am. I'm going to show everyone how, I know the right decision every time, all the time. That's when I have fallen every single time. When I've led out of humility, when I've led out of, responsibility and understanding the weight of it and taking it seriously and been so grateful for these positions of privilege is when I've led the best. And so I said, first off, the fact that you are here and that you have that type of an attitude shows that you're the right person for that job. And he said, well, that's great. Awesome. Thank you for talking to me. Thank you. I understand now that maybe I am in the right spot. And so he started to accept that. But then he said, hey, but like, I don't have this education, right? I don't have the background. He went in and said, I haven't had a lot of great male leadership in my life. I don't know how to lead the right way. And I said, no. I said, you're exactly the man that you're supposed to be today. I said, everything that you didn't end up in this by accident, right? This has been the path for your life. You've been prepared for this. Now you're who you need to be today. Now the fact that you're recognizing some shortcomings that you have, now we work on those. Right. And so that's self-awareness, right? That's someone who has emotional intelligence in their life to understand that they have strengths and they have weaknesses. And I said, listen, if you need some education, great. Let's take some classes. Let's get some books. If there's some stuff that you need to work through emotionally, okay, let's talk about maybe a therapist, right? But this is where we all are at in our lives. So whether you're 21 years old or 51 years old, like where I'm at in my life, I every day have to understand my strengths and my weaknesses. So I said, you're 21 years old. You have your own strengths and weaknesses. I'm 51 years old. I have my own strengths and weaknesses, but this doesn't qualify me for the job. It just means that I have the emotional intelligence to understand this is my strength. I'm going to lean into my strength, and these are my weaknesses, and I'm going to work on my weaknesses. And so I said, the fact that you're seeing those once again qualifies you for that leadership role. Now, don't accept your weaknesses. Let's work on those. And so we started talking about that. I said, listen, you can take classes, right? You can get some mentors. You can allow some people to speak into your life. You can get therapy, right? Like you could go see a therapist for some emotional things. You can also read books, right? Like you can always read books and grow and learn and the areas that you need help on. Maybe you need help on how to public speak. Great. Let's read a book. Go join Toastmasters, right? Maybe you need, help on understanding finances. Great. Let's take some accounting classes. Let's read some book on finances, right? But these are the strengths and weaknesses that we all have. And anyone coming into the position and thinks all that they have are strengths, those are the people that fall, right? Because those are the people that aren't humble enough to allow someone else to speak in their lives or to grow professionally on their own by either reading books or taking classes, right? So this is what I was encouraging him to say, like, this is where you need to be. And the fact that you have this humility is awesome. And I said, listen, now for me over my life, I've had a lot of different people. I've done all all of these different things, right? I've had the imposter syndrome myself. I've looked around and thought, geez, there's no one around me today that can help me and relate. And so what I did is I went and I read those books. I found people that were further ahead than me, and I reached out to them and said, can you please help me? And I actually never did a formal mentorship, but I had like 5 or 6 different people that I would call for 5 or 6 different situations and things that they would allow me, whether it was, the way I was sinking emotionally, I had someone that would speak into my life and encourage me. If there was questions that I had in business, I had 2 or 3 people that I could talk to at any given time that were further along. I had 2 or 3 people that I did business with along the way that we would encourage each other, and we would swap war stories, and we would pick each other up when we were down, right? But these are what we do. We build ourselves around, and we're never there, right? So now I'm 51 years old, and I think to myself, like, I want to continue to have the same heart as this kid who was 21 and sharing with me how he felt like insecure, and he was like pushing himself beyond where he was comfortable. I want to continue to be like that, because I know if I am, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to play to my strengths, and I'm going to work on my weaknesses. I'm going to continue to surround myself with people that can help me and challenge me. I'm going to continue to learn. I'm going to continue to read books. I'm going to take classes, and I'm going to continue to grow. And I don't ever want to be at that place of pride where I think I have all the answers. So as awesome as it was to sit there and talk with him, I was actually able to talk to myself at the exact same time and learn and grow, and say someone who's 21 years old versus someone at 51 years old still has the humility of the imposter syndrome, but the reality of realizing that no, we're exactly where we need to be, but we must always treat that as a privilege, right? Rather than this entitled right. And so I encouraged him. I said, continue to have this type of heart. Have a heart of humility. Have a heart of transparency. If you don't know the answer, don't walk in arrogance, right? Don't be the person that walks in that says, hey, I've got all the answers and you're lucky that I'm your boss. Don't ever live that way. Don't be that person. Be that person that lives in humility, lives in transparency, just strives for growth, allows other people to speak into their lives. And if you do that, you're going to continue to grow and continue to develop. And 10 years from now, you're not going to be the same person. But 10 years from now, you're probably still going to feel like, oh my gosh, now I'm at this level today that I don't know how to deal with. And that's awesome. That's actually a good place to be, as long as you recognize and realize that, listen, we never have all the answers. 10 years from now, you're going to be 31 years old. I hope that at 31, you still have this same humble, transparent heart. And I hope that you're still striving and still feeling like unqualified, right? Because the minute you believe that you've arrived, the minute you believe that you have all the answers, that's when it happens. Pride comes before a fall, my friend. I'm Devin, and this is the Whiteboard Entrepreneur Podcast. And when you apply this to your life, I know it's going to help.